Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Burning Conversations. My name is Anastasia Douglas. I am currently a junior communications and business administration major here, and I'm also your head podcast person. And Burning Conversations, what we do, we're going to talk about kind of what's going on here at Northwestern, and also get to know the people around here as well. And our very special guest today is none other than our Demons head basketball coach, Rick Cabrera. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you so much.
Look, I want you to tell us just a little bit about you playing basketball as a kid in your youth.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was born and raised in New York City, so that's, in my opinion, that's the mecca of basketball. And I grew up on the black tops of New York City. Playing against some really, really good players throughout my life, and it was the first sport that I saw my dad play, and I fell in love with it. And here I am, at my age now. It's been a part of my life since birth. So, New York City is, like I said earlier, is the mecca of basketball. So it kind of got me started, to what I'm doing now.
I see in the NBA so much that players actually later on, they become the head coaches. I've seen it with Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd. He played for the Dallas Mavericks, then he's actually the coach now. I've also seen, I think, Steve Nash as well. He's, I think, the coach for the Brooklyn Nets right now. And also Steve Kerr, he's the head coach for the Golden State Warriors, but he also played back in the day, I think, for the Bulls. And so that reminded me a little bit of you, because you went from player to now coach. So please tell me how that transition was.
Well, as you get older, when your body can't play anymore, you want to just be around it. It was something I wanted to do, and every player doesn't do that. Everyone has different career paths. But I got into this business to impact young men, and if I couldn't play it anymore, I wanted to coach it, and like I said, to impact young men, but also because I love being around basketball, and I have a lot of mentors in my life that I've seen coach, and the impact that they had on me, I wanted to reciprocate to young men as well. So it was just an easy transition. It was a no-brainer. That orange basketball has done a lot of great things for me throughout my life, and allowed me to meet some great people and grow in this business to where I am today.
Now, you actually coached at Tallahassee Community College, and what I've heard is that you took them actually to the semifinals in a national tournament, but the previous season before, what had happened was you had to replace about 13 players, and then you had to rebuild from there. So how are you able to do that?
Yeah, it's just, like I said, in this business, it's all about relationships. And who and who can help you get a couple players here and there. So when I walked into Tallahassee, it wasn't an easy situation, because I got the job pretty late at the time, and I had to replace 14 guys, and like the vetting process wasn't as easy as you'd like in getting to know these young men. You just don't want to recruit young men that can just play basketball. You want to recruit young men that can represent your program in the right way. And we were able to do it. We got some great young men that came in and helped us start the process going in year one at Tallahassee. And it was kind of similar to my situation here when I got this job. We had to replace 13 guys here my first year. So it was never easy. It's just part of the business, and it's something you just have to get used to. And I never really stressed too much about it. It was just, the only negative was, actually getting, to know these young men, to find out if they are really the right fit for you and your program and your vision of what you want to do. And that's the only negative. But, as you experience it, you learn a little bit more on how to do certain things to fix that issue.
So when you also were a coach at Lackawanna College as well, and you raised their college program from like a 1.7 GPA to a 2.5 as well. How were you able to do that?
Well, I don't ever want to say I did that. I just put down some ground rules of, one thing I always live by, I'll never compromise, athletic success over academics. It's just, it's not the cloth that I'm cut from. So, like when I was there, I was just able to emphasize the importance, of good grades and good academics, and it was also in the recruiting process. We wanted to recruit some guys that actually cared about schoolwork. You didn't necessarily have to be an AB student. It would have been great, but young men that cared about academics and wanted to go into 4-year school and do well, and that's what we did.
What has been, so far your most difficult moment being a coach? Not just here at NSU, it could be your past coach experience, and how are you able to grow from that?
Well, believe it or not, it wasn't necessarily basketball related, so I don't know if this is answering your question. But my most difficult moment was moving my wife from her family. She's from Pennsylvania, where Lackawanna is in that area, and I've been a Division I assistant for 13 years. So when I was a head coach at Lackawanna College, I was 28. I was 28 years old in my first year, and then when I left, I was 32. So my wife was very close, to her family, and we moved from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and just had a 1-year-old son to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Okay. So she was so supportive, but at that time I felt kind of selfish that it was just my career, and so that was tough for me just to deal with throughout my years, and just like we've lived in the South since 2008. And she's been away from her family, but she's been a trooper. She hasn't complained one time. But just internally, I just felt like it was about me. She never made me feel that way, but I felt that way. So that that affected my psyche a little bit in my coaching career. That was my most difficult moment. Through the basketball times, I never really had a difficult moment. It was just experiences, whether they were lost, and maybe a young man didn't graduate the way I hoped he would have graduated. But yeah, that was my most difficult moment.
Now, I saw in your biography you stated that being head coach here at NSU is your dream job. So I have to ask, how's the dream job going so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's going great. It's going great, and like a lot of people have asked me that question. And I always say, so my dream job, I mean, NSU was my dream job because they believed in me, right? It's not that I was, as a young man, I was sitting at home and I was like, like I dreamt of being a head coach at Northwestern State. That's not realistic, because I didn't have a connection here, as a young man. But Northwestern State believed in me, to be their head coach. And there's only 363 of these jobs in the country, really? From a Division I standpoint. So any job that I got the opportunity to be the head coach is my dream job. And they were the first one, and I fulfilled my dream.
How have you been able to connect one-on-one with the players? Because, our players here, they're not just our players we see on the television. They are also students here at NSU. So how has that connection with them been going?
Yeah, that's I mean, it's been natural to me, relating to people and communicating to people is easy. It was a gift that my mom and dad gave me. And when you have things in common with people, like your players, like I always tell them, I say, guys, I don't know everything. And I'm learning every day from you guys. I'm learning from other coaches. I'm learning from my assistant coaches. But one thing I do have is the blueprint of what you've been through. I've been a player, at this level. I played professionally, so I can at least give you the blueprint of what it takes to be successful. And that's been natural to me, and like I haven't had any issues with relating to my players here.
So what are your goals for our team, not just for this season, but for seasons coming?
Most importantly, I want every player that I coach to graduate from here. With the transformation of the transfer portal and in today's game, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I don't know if that's realistic, but I mean, even if they don't finish here, I want to make sure every young man that I coach gets a college degree.
Absolutely.
All right. Secondly, I want to make this town proud. This town wants to see a winning program, and they want to see a champion. And that's why they hired me is to win South End championships. and go to the NCAA tournament. And if that's not your goal as a coach here, then you probably shouldn't be the coach. So that's my goal, and as long as they keep me here, I love to be here, but most importantly, win championships.
What advice would you give to just any person who wants to focus their career on coaching, whether it's in basketball, football, soccer, any sport at all? What would you tell them?
Yeah, just be committed, man. That's a strong word. Just being committed through the good and the bad, because there's going to be some bad, and there's going to be some times where you're going to question your profession. It's going to be some times where you may not. You just may want to be go to work and then go to home person. But if you want to be a college basketball player or coach, it's going to take commitment. It's going to take some struggle, but there's a lot of joy in it as well. And you have to go into something like this with an open mind, with positive energy. When tough times approach you, you got to be able to handle it. You have to be able to ask for advice from people that have been through it. And at least give it a try. It may not work. There have been a lot of people that have, come into the profession of coaching, and it just wasn't for them. It doesn't make you wrong, but if you're not committed, it's never going to work out. If you're just kind of testing the waters, as they say, it's probably not the right thing to do. So you got to have 2 feet in, and with some passion and some energy, and understand what you're getting out of this. And if you have that, you'll be fine.
Last question I want to ask you. Now, you are a basketball coach, so I do want to say, now, do you have a favorite NBA team?
I was born and raised in New York City, so I love the New York Knicks.
Really?
Yeah, die hard. My dad played for the Knicks in '79 for a year, but being in New York City, that's all I've seen is the Knicks, and as long as the good man upstairs keeps me on this earth, I will always be a Knicks fan. So they're trending upward, doing right things and winning basketball games. So I hope they can win a championship in my lifetime.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys. This is our head Demon basketball coach, Rick Cabrera. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come talk with me. You guys, this is our first episode of the semester of Burning Conversations. Just some quick reminders as well. First and foremost, that the Demons will be playing today, actually, against Nichols at Nichols, and you can catch them on ESPN Plus. The game will start at 6:30. And also, Current Sauce news as well. The Current Sauce will be handing out their first print edition of the semester, and you can catch the location and in their Instagram bio map. So, I am Anastasia Douglas. I am your head podcast person. Thank you guys so much, and tune in for our new episode very, very soon. Thank you.